No way whatsoever am I gonna scan a postcard and then before I upload it, am I gonna go in and look at the colors and try to match and touch up a postcard. Well, welcome back to SMPostcards. Today we got the normal video, the longer ones. It has 4 sections. I sold 14 cards on eBay. I'm going to go through and just show you those real quick, what I sold for. And you really want to look at what type of card more than the dollars. The dollars are good, always, but it's the type of cards, chrome, divided backs. What are people buying? And I got some different ones here. I sold a moon rock. And then special topic, I got golfing postcards. Postcards with golf on there, the sport of golf. Those always do well for me when I get some kind of golf course and I put it in the title. Especially the motels or resorts and holes. I know one guy, he basically tries to get, I think, the last hole on every golf course he played into a frame. And he bought a bunch from me one time. Then with the poll today, I'm going to go through, I put it out there, because I know some people do this. Do you touch up your scanned photos before uploading to eBay? So once you scan this postcard, do you, when you go to put the photo on eBay, do you touch it up and make it look better than what it is, or try to get the right colors? I'm going to tell you what I do and my thoughts about it, and I got some comments from some people about why they do it or not do it. Then the viewer comments. Got 3 short comments to go over at the end, so you always want to stick around for that. But I'm going to get going on to what sold. But first of all, I wanted to show you what a viewer, Amelia and Bill, some longtime viewers of the channel, she actually made me this magnet. It's a magnet that sticks on, and it says SMPostcards. She couldn't put the whole name on there, it had to fit, so that's fine. But look at the detail. It's a fish bowl with a fish, and she has seashells and some coral, little like fish things in there. Just really detailed. My wife's a quilter, and she just enjoyed seeing the detail you did, Amelia. And it says fish tank guy. When they saw me, they didn't say postcard guy. It's the fish tank guy. So she did this, and I'm going to put this right up over here. So it'll be right in the video on there. But thanks, Amelia, for doing that, and Bill. That's really appreciated. When I got it at the P.O. box, I opened it out. I go, what's this? It's kind of heavy. And it was a nice surprise to see the fish tank. Thanks again. So let's see what I got here. I sold James Dean Continental card. Just a rack card type. Just newer James Dean card, $4 to $5. This card is from those albums I bought from that one gentleman, the 8 albums. The videos I show here, there's 1 through 8, and I comped each card and figured out what I got. And I'll be doing at the end of the year where I'm at with that. I've made my money back for selling 25% of the cards. I'm way over. I'm doing well. This is another Catskill Mountains, and this sold for $7.75. Just a divided back. Catskill Mountains always do well. You want to make sure you get those comped and where they go. And if you watch the videos, you know I like to pick up odd trade cards. Bozo, Happy Clown is what the title was. Sold $4 to $5. That'll go eBay standard envelope too. Sold a motel. San Osage Motel, Denver, Colorado. Linen card. Unposted. $5 to $6. Then I sold the Moon Rock. This sold for $12.65. It is the Hayden Planetarium, the William Met Meteorite. It's a moon rock, or meteorite. Look at that thing. $12.65. So if you get any planetarium ones, this was a surprise to me. But I knew it was kind of special, and I had it in my special folder. But I went a little high on it, and $12.65. Some people wouldn't even list these cards anymore. I don't list that many of them. I have some of them out there. The oldest house in the United States, St. Augustine, Florida. White border card, posted, $4 to $6. They will sell, but they just take a while. So I sold the Severn River Bridge, Annapolis, Maryland. Now this looks like a white border, but it's actually a linen. I can actually see the waffle texture and feel it on here. On that, so it's just a bridge, $4 to $5. I put up a bunch of Jamaica cards. I'll buy about 500-600 of them. I always start the Caribbean $1 more than what I usually do and go up from there. This is Montego Bay, Jamaica, chrome card, probably from the 60s. $5 to $6. Then I sold a couple boat prints. USS Saratoga, the USS Sampson went out. Then I got Jerome, Texas. There's the Prospector one. Posted in 1963. Chrome card. $4 to $5. And then this one is Motel Row in Miami Beach. They always sell. They don't sell for top dollar, but this was a nice scene on Motel Row. $4 to $5. This, I'm not for sure. What is this? Lake Cadillac. Some town, Lake Cadillac, Michigan. So I sold Lake Cadillac in Cadillac, Michigan. $4 to $5. And this one, I only got one of these left. I gotta look in the closet and see if I got some more. Because I got a little note in there that says more in closet. This is the USS Missouri BB-63. Doing the full guns here. There's 3 guns are blasting, doing a broadside, and it's got that in there. So I've sold many of these on the prints. So that was a total of 14 cards. What's my goal for the year? 14. So I did it. Total dollars, $84.46. Average sale price for today, $6.03. Met all my goals. Got 14 cards is what I wanted to do this year. Wanted to do $70 or more a day. Basically $70 is my bottom. I did 84, 85, and my average sale price is going up. Those are my goals for this year. I wanted to slow down this year. I'm not worried about being the top seller, the big dollars, or whatever. I just wanted to do $70. If I do that, I'm happy. If I go under that, then I want to try to get it back up there. But $70 was very meetable. It meets my goals, put some money in my pocket. I'm not standing here all day listing just to see what the top limit is. You could do that forever. But this year was a cost cutting and slowing down. We're going to be getting rid of the flea market for sure. I got rid of all those sites. I cut my expenses ridiculously low. Basically every month, you got to have a budget. You got to set a budget for every year. So I'm already thinking of 2024. I'll probably keep the same goals that I did, but I think I'm going to add a goal. I'm not going to just go out and buy bigger lots to have cards. I'm going to try to get a niche. I'm going to try to find a big lot of a certain card, or really focus on a certain couple types of cards and add it to the $70 or 14 in there and raise my average sale price. So that's probably what I'm going to add to in 24. But you got to have a budget. You got to know what you need every month. So what I do is I go through my spreadsheet and I put in all my expenses. I know I got to pay Worth Point. I know I got to do this. I know I got to pay for this. I pay for that. So those are every month. And every month I start, I put those expenses in. So I know once I meet those expenses, everything else added expenses will come in during the month. But I'm usually the second or third day of the month, I've met all my expenses for the month. But I'll buy envelopes or do some other things. But I'm usually have enough money made in the first, second, or third day of the month to pay my expenses for the month. And then I put money away for next month and the next month. Pretty soon you got a whole year's worth of expenses, your normal expenses every day. You still got to buy your supplies. You still got to buy different things. Your eBay pretty well takes care of itself, but you got to have a margin there that's putting money to pay for the other things. So you got to figure out what it costs you to do a postcard. Time, cost of envelope, postage, your eBay store, storage, your boxes, your sleeves. All that is added in. You're promoting. If you're not adding money to your price for the promotion, some people are promoting 10, 15%, 12%. You got to add that into the price. That's the way I see it. Those are things you pass on to buyers. The new ground advantage and priority. A lot of people said now they go ground advantage, but they can't use the free priority boxes. They have to buy boxes, or once they run out of their eBay coupon. Sure, pass that on. Put it in as a handling cost. I put 50 cents in for ground advantage and 75 cents for every priority. Pays for all my supplies and my time. Everybody's going through the same thing when they do a postal increase. 50 cents or 25 cents, if that breaks a sale, then that person shouldn't have bought it in the first place. If that's not going to, you got to recover your expenses, and sometimes you got to pass things on. You can't absorb everything and still make the same amount of money. Now we're going to get into the special topic of postcards with golf on them, the sport of golf, the little white ball that they beat down a course. I used to played golf a lot in my 20s and 30s. Had one job where we all had company cars, and we weren't supposed to keep our golf clubs in the trunk, so we'd push them way in the back and cover them up with stuff, and we would meet up, because we were in Chicagoland. There were about 3 or 4 of us, and we'd just go out golfing. Our boss would get mad because we didn't take him. He was an avid golfer. So I golfed for many years, but I gave it up after started working, and I was traveling so much. I wasn't on the league and stuff anymore. I couldn't do it. I was, I could be gone 1, 2, 3 weeks at a time. So I like golf. My brothers play it. A lot of my family plays it. We got probably 7 to 9 courses within 25 minutes from me, right down here. Some really nice ones. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about golf. Some statistics, some narration, or some facts about golfing and stuff, where it came from. And while I do that, I'm going to show you some postcards I found with golf on them, the sport of golf. Here we go. Golf is a sport that has been enjoyed for many centuries. Its history can be traced back to ancient times, but it really took off in Scotland during the 15th century. Back then it was called golf. I'll put it right down here how it's spelled, G-O-W-F. And it was played in open fields with handmade clubs and balls. As the sport gained popularity, golf courses were built with specially designed holes. In the 18th century, the first golf club, called the Honourable Company of Edinburgh Golfers, was formed. It established rules and regulations for the game, which were later adopted by other golf clubs. Golf spread to England and eventually other parts of the world, including the United States. Today, golf is enjoyed by people of all ages and is played professionally in tournaments like the Masters and U.S. Open. Over the years, golf has evolved in many ways. The equipment used has become more advanced, with clubs made from materials like metal and graphite, and balls designed for better performance. The rules of the game have been refined to ensure fairness and sportsmanship. One of the most exciting moments in golf history is when Tiger Woods became the youngest player to win the Masters in 1997 at age 21. His success inspired many young people to take up the sport and dream of becoming professional golfers. Golf continues to be a popular sport today, with many enjoying the challenge of hitting the ball into the hole while enjoying the beautiful landscape of golf courses around the world. And I got 5 little facts here about golf. Golf balls were originally made of feathers. In the early days of golf, golf balls were crafted using a bizarre combination of feathers and leather. They would stuff a leather pouch with feathers and stitch it up, resulting in a round ball. These feathers-filled balls were known as featheries. Thankfully, modern golf balls are made of synthetic materials like rubber and plastic. The world's largest golf tee is 30 feet tall, located in Casey, Illinois. That's where that postcard show is, down south there. I think I got some pictures of stuff around town. The world's largest golf tee stands at a towering 30 feet. It was constructed in 2012 and is a true testament to the passion and quirkiness of golf enthusiasts. Golf was an Olympic sport for only 1 year. Golf was included in the Summer Olympics in 1900, but was then removed and didn't make a comeback until 2016. The odd lapse of over a century without golf in the Olympics is quite unusual compared to other popular sports. Golf balls were once filled with volatile substance. In the late 1800s, golf balls were filled with highly flammable substance called gutta percha, and I'll put it right down here. I probably butchered that. Gutta percha. This material was derived from the sap of the Malaysian tree and had the potential to explode if struck too hard or exposed to extreme heat. Thankfully, gutta percha was eventually replaced with more stable materials. It's like golfing with a grenade. No way! Golfers used to play in the dark. In the 19th century, night golf was a popular pastime. Players would use luminous balls that glowed in the dark, allowing them to continue playing even after sunset. These early glow-in-the-dark balls were made by soaking gutta percha balls, the ones that blow up, in a solution of crushed fireflies. So they murdered bugs to put on blowing up balls. Thankfully, advancements in lighting technology have made night golf a lot safer and more enjoyable today. Could you see going out there and getting a jar of fireflies and putting a ball in there and crushing it up and then go hit it? Some of the things I find with some of these facts are just crack me up. But that's the history of golf. Been around a long time. Everybody knows, watched golf and stuff like that. And there's a lot of loyal people with golf. I know my brother is. Any chance he gets out of the hospital and go out there, he goes out. You can probably find him at the golf courses more often than home. But what do these things sell? Do postcards with golf on them sell? Well, the best I can give you is some education, make an educated guess off things you can do. Now, I use sell-through rate, because sell-through rate is just easy to do. It's not scientific. I'm not landing people on the moon, building a car, or anything like that. I'm just taking a couple numbers and coming up with a range. I'm not going to go in there and get every little card, every little thing, and all the semantics. I'm just going to give you a number that falls in a range, so I kind of know I have a better chance of selling that card over that card. So I calculate it, and I have this little range here in my head is what I look for. Anything in red, I stay away from. Average, I'll do, but I know they'll sit. The higher average ones, yeah, I'll pick them up. They'll go a little bit faster than average, but the very highs are the outliers. The ones that you want to look for while you're looking for the average and the high. Stay away from the lows if you can. You're going to still get them, and you're going to get duds. This isn't guaranteed that the card's going to sell, but it'll give you a better chance to have some type of educated guess making a decision buying postcards instead of saying, oh, this looks really nice. I like that card. And it doesn't sell because you didn't know that hotels have an average sales rate. It sells, but it takes a while. So I take sold divided by listed. I go into eBay. Postcard golf. Hit sold. Gives me a number. Then I take the sold off and it gives me a listed number. So I take the sold. 1,800 postcards with golf on it sold in 90 days, last 90 days. These are cards moving through the system, not dollars. Listed, there's 32,000 postcards out there with postcard golf in the title. Times it by 100 to get a percent and round up to the whole percent, because that's what humans like to read, is a nice whole number. They don't want to think. 6% falls in the chart. It's an average card. I'd give it a little bit of bump. It's gonna, some of them might bump up to high. Depends, like Pebble Beach, the Masters. So there's always outliers to this, but overall, it's an average card. So if you get a box and it has 50% or 60% golf in there, you don't pay top dollar for it because these are average cards. They're going to sit the average time and average price. But if you get 25% golf, then you get a bunch of mermaids in there, then you get a bunch of Disney, that box is going to turn into a high box. Then if you get more, it can turn in very high, then you pay more. But with average cards, you don't want to pay that much for it because they're going to sit. You're going to tie up your money. They might sell, most do, over time, but it can take a while, so you're going to be tying up your money. But I bumped it up against some other sports, postcards with sports on there. I did baseball. There's 59,000 baseball postcards out there. 16%. And I got a video on baseball coming. Basketball, 3,300 cards. I did that a couple times. 3,300 seemed low to me. 13%. Football. Now we call football in the United States the passing and stuff, not soccer. Over in Europe and stuff, they call soccer football. Football here is the NFL league and stuff like that, and soccer is soccer. I wouldn't say right or wrong, it's just whatever the custom is. There's 23,000 football, 12%. All of these things, people are loyal fans to their teams. They like the sport, they play the sport, they like to watch it and stuff like that. They're fanatics. Some of them are fanatics about it. Their whole car, their house, their man cave's full of this stuff. Postcard golf is 6%. So golf is down a little bit compared to these other sports. I still don't pass up golf postcards. I'll still pick them up. So 6% average card. There are some outliers, and here's a couple, some of them. So here's one. Here's a Tiger Woods Golf Superstar Legend Sports Memorial postcard. $200. It looks like it's signed. $200. That's what I'm talking about, outliers from the average. Next one is rare or hard to find. Hornsdale, Pennsylvania postcard. Clubhouse, Golf Links, Wayne County. These are the ones you want to look for, is these older clubhouses, these postcards, the undivided backs and stuff. with the older golf in there, I found I get a few extra dollars. This person got $130. Full price. Then here's just a golf course. Hand-colored Augusta National Golf Club, number 2 fairway postcard. That's a hole on where the Masters is played in Georgia. $77. And that's sold in June. I don't know when the Masters play, but that's just one of the holes. So if you can get specific in your titles with a certain hole, or like what he's got here, Augusta National Golf Course, number 2 fairway postcard, that probably triggered some saved searches. So all of those cards, I would say you're talking $80, $90 average on just 3 cards. Then you get novelty ones. Here's one I found. It looks like a pair of pants. Loudmouth World Countries postcard from the Wedge Art Golf Shorts, men. You get all these different novelty things. That's sold for $60. So there is some outliers in golfing. Even though most are average, there is money to be made on some of these cards. But when you look at the average cards that we see all the time in lots and stuff like that, not these outliers, you always want to look for the average cards because the outliers will come with them. They kind of show up. You start becoming more aware of postcards. Just normal, high, sold high in eBay. This is an early Alistair McKenzie tees off at the Cypress Point, number 16, that's the hole, Cypress Point Club postcard. Best offer, $29, probably took $25. Next one is advertising, Gilbert Shoe. It's a postcard advertisement of Gilbert Shoe Company. Sports Oxford golf shoes. $28. So advertising is a plus. Has pictures. It's a nice looking card. And then the other one is View of Lake Geneva Golf Course, Wisconsin. He's got the golf course name in there. It's got a view. There's the hole. There's people playing. Got some action. It's got $27 for it. So if you look at that, $25 to $30 are the high side of some of these cards that are more specific. But then people go out there and do this on the lows, $265, $167, $179. Phoenix, Arizona has a ton of retirees. They probably looking for what it looks like out there, golf club, for $179, and these other ones are selling for that price. They're average cards, but I think you can get a little bit more. The other one, Resort Golf Club. It has White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. West Virginia always deserves a second and third look. In San Francisco, Lincoln Park Golf Clubs. They know where all of these are. I can't sell cards at that price and make money. That's the swing that you'll get. So when you get golf cards, that's why I don't pass them up, because more likely you're going to find them on the sold highs more toward that way than the lows with golf. But they don't sell as fast. The sell-through rate is how many they're going through the system. The price is what they go for. So you might get higher prices for them, but they won't sell as fast. They're selling at an average rate. So if you can do the weight game on some of these, you're going to win. To sum up golf, it's a great sport. People that do golf sometimes are, above retired. They're retired. They got disposable income, and they spend the money. They'll spend $300 on one golf club. So do you think they'll spend $20 on a golf card so they can bring it and show their pals at the golf club? Sure. So there is a little bit of money there, because a lot of the golfers have disposable income. A lot of people do it, but I would say majority have that disposable income, and they'll spend on their hobby. So that's a plus for that. Also, there's some extremes. Down, I would say they're just average sellers, so you want to play the weight game. But if you get anything with the Masters on there, especially when that's going on, you want to jump on those. I don't pass postcards with golf on them, no matter what they are. That's Golf Postcards. Who knew? Now we're going to get into the poll. And this is probably another one of those passion things. People say, I do this and I sell cards and that. I'm just going to tell you, I put the poll out there. I'm going to tell you what the majority of people have said. Then I'll tell you what I did, and I got some comments on this as well. So the poll was, do you touch up your scanned images before uploading to eBay? What that means is you scan this in your scanner, or you took a picture of it, and then you put it, before you upload it, you went in and adjusted the cover, the contrast, make it sharper and vibrance, and made it look better and stuff like that. Do you do that on every card before you upload it? 17% said yes. 79% said no, no way. Then we have some others. Then the comments, I picked out 3 comments on here. Julie Flicker said, I want them as best as they can be, showing the good, bad, and ugly. Saves on returns, and buyers are usually very happy with their item. So Julie likes doing it. Thanks, Julie. Chris says, I went into the scanner settings, and this touches kind of like what I do, and what I let other things do the work for you. And I'll get into that in a second. So Chris, I went into the scanner settings and adjusted the multiple color settings. It took many hours of trying to get it just right. Some scanners right out of the box don't seem to show the true color of the postcard in the scan. They're set to default. You got to adjust it. Can't talk for all scanners, as I only used a couple. Now I have it set up almost perfect color match to the actual card. He's letting the scanner do the work. He took the time to figure it out. And I'm able to give it a little more brightness to make it pop. So he lets the scanner do that. Also, I put a setting in the scanner to leave a 1/4 inch of an inch on all sides of the scanned postcard so people can see the edges. That's that offset, that border you can do on the Epson. The Fujitsu, you can't do it on the scan snaps, but on the Epsons you can put a little, like an offset border around it so people can see the edges. Many scanners and postcard sellers, I noticed, don't do that, and the scanner will cut off the edge just enough to where it won't catch the minor defect on the edge. Plus, most scanners will arrange the back scan right side up after the scan automatically. So Chris is using his equipment. He's learning what he bought, and he's adjusted it to where he doesn't have to go in and do all that. He just puts them in there and does that. And I'll talk about what I do in a minute. Then KS85224, I don't have a scanner yet, but I do adjustments on my pictures I take using my phone. I try to get the image to match the postcard as truly as possible. Thanks everyone for your comments. Now, what do? No way whatsoever am I going to scan a postcard and then before I upload it, am I going to go in and look at the colors and try to match and touch up a postcard. Out of the thousands and thousands of postcards I've sold, I have never had one returned because they said the image didn't look like the postcard. We're going to go over the scanner settings here in a second. I think maybe once in a while, if I remember right, if I catch the message, some guy asked me, is that a boat in the picture? It was really small in the corner. I had to actually pull the card and get a magnifying glass. Yeah, it looks like a sailboat. But that's about it. Scanner, I mean, scanners aren't going to pick that up. If I hired someone, let's say $15 an hour, to list postcards, and remember, if it's not listed, it's not going to sell, and you're not going to get money. So if I hire someone for $15 an hour to do that, and I want them to list cards, as many as possible, to get them up there, get them on the market, do you want them going in there and doing that? Are you going to pay him to do that? Some cards can take a while to get just perfect. So your business is basically paying you to list postcards as part of the business, and you're doing that. That's how I think. Now you can do whatever you want. It's your business. But I'm going to tell you my opinion on it. I do not do that. I do not even do the zoom-ins. I am not going to take the time to do that. I've never ever had a postcard come back or anybody question the color on it. You can set, like Chris did, you can set those scanners up to do a very good job. The key to these cards, if you're selling divided back and down on average, not your hard to find, your real photos, those sell themselves. Different story. Those $60, $80, $150 cards and stuff, $40 cards, those are different stories. I'm talking about average cards that most people sell. I cannot put that much time into them. As soon as you start doing stuff like that, I could list probably 3 cards by the time people do that. It doesn't make that much difference. So my scanner is set up for 400 DPI. I think eBay caps at 600 to a point. Someone maybe can tell me different, but if I remember right, it was 600. So I set the scanner at 400, and it's been fine for years. Never had a problem. 400 DPI, I let them go. Picks up everything. Yeah, once in a while you're not going to get the back of a postcard because it's really light and stuff, I just let it go. I've never had anybody ask me what's on the back. I can't see it. Most people, postcard people know that. The little edge around the corner is a nice to have. I have tens of thousands of cards without it because my Fujitsu, my first scanner, until I got the Epson, did not do it. Did it stop me from selling postcards? No, but it's a nice to have. Is that going to be the one thing that's going to sell that card above me? Probably not, but it's a nice to have. So going in and resetting the colors and stuff like that, I don't think it's going to get a sale over the next person. Yeah, they look nice, gives a good presentation, but when you're selling a card $5 to $8, you can't spend a lot of money. I can't spend a lot of money on it. I got to get these cards up. The more I get up, the more you list, the more you sell. It's not worth my time doing that. And I've always said, I touch it 4 times. When I buy it, when I scan it, when I list it, and when I sell it. Once it goes in the box over there, it's sitting there until it sells. Or I do something else with it. But I try to touch it 4 times and move. My game is quantity. With the average and lower cards that I do, it's quantity, variety, good price, but gotta buy them at a very good price, price to sell, and move cards. Hard to find, real photos, those unique ones, different story. I treat those totally separate. You might want to go in and tweak a real photo postcard on the back a little bit with your scanner, but in no way am I going to buy Photoshop just to do that for one $5 postcard. My $1,900 Uncle Sam Hold the Light Santa Claus I just put it through the scanner. I didn't have a problem with that. It came out, the colors were there, that's it. And then also I did take it with a picture with a camera. I put a light behind it so it'll show it going through. So I did different things with that. To still sell? Yeah, I sell cards every day without doing this. Not saying that it's wrong for you. You can do whatever you want. But you got to be careful about the time you spend on selling postcards. It's not like a toaster or a pair of shoes you're getting $20, $30 for on a very good margin. A lot of these cards don't sell for that. So you got to keep your time down to a minimum. And a lot of people get lost with that. But how to tweak scanners. And I said this in another video. I have an Epson 400, ES400 too. But with the ES400, what is the optimal settings to do like what Chris did? Took him a while. Out on Ko-Fi, I put 3 free digital downloads. You can download these for free, even though it says pay what you want. You can put a 0 there and get them for free. Free information of my scanner settings I have right now. And here they are. So the first one is the main setting. Now I just went in and adjusted my settings because I was having a problem. I'm saying, what is going on? I couldn't even send this little envelope through. It would stop. And it would say, it just stopped. It would like double feed. I couldn't even send a thicker linen card through. So I said, okay, what's going on here? That didn't happen before. I could send anything through that Epson. So I put them in the Fujitsu ScanSnap. Went through just fine. So for a while I was just setting them to the side. I was just running through the Fujitsu. But I want the little border around it. It's nice to have. And I want to try to stay with the Epson. Come to find out, I think I had it too touchy. I think the settings, I must play around with these settings. I must have did something. If you notice, I got it set to 400 DPI. Is that the best? You know, I want people to I want to optimize these and get the best optimized ones out there, and I'll play with them. But down at the bottom it says, detect double feed. I had that on. I turned it off. I said, okay. And then I went to the advanced tab, and this is out on Ko-Fi too. This is the advanced tab over there, and this is where you set different brightness and stuff like Chris did. Edge fill, unsharp descreening, dual edge remove, watermark. There was nothing there that would cause that. And then I went over here and I had detect dirt on glass, on low, paper protection, double feeding, stop timing, immediate. So that's where I set all this stuff, but I think it was there, and there's an ultrasonic sensor in, I noticed just by looking at the piece of technology in there, the component, there's an ultrasonic thing in there. I think I had it set too touchy. Because now, once I made these changes, I can send these cards through, these navel covers and the linens, everything goes through just fine. So I did that. But the settings are out there. Take a look at them to what you have if you have an Epson. And let's see if we can tweak these things to the best. And that way they're always out there for free. Anybody can go there. I get a lot of people asking me, and I have these snapshots, and then I send them to people. Now I can just put them to Ko-Fi and have the most updated ones. But tweak your scanners. Get your equipment to do the work. The days of going, I've seen some people will take and keep their scans. If they want to do that, that's fine. But they build a folder for it and put a number and they catalog it and do all this stuff. That's time wasted to me. I don't do that. And I don't save my photos and stuff like that, because I can go to the box and just scan these. I can dump all these in the scanner. The biggest problem will be taking them out of the sleeves that I have, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I know these are passion things, how people want to do it. All I got to say is time is money. And if your business is paying you to do this, wouldn't the business want you to get more cards up there? Because this picture of this Cliff House or this post office, this linen, I don't think by doctoring it up is going to sell it any faster than the one I scanned with the good settings. That's the poll. Keep them coming. Make sure you vote. Make sure you subscribe so you see them when they come out. And they let people know how to do things, make it better. But if you're doing it the way you want to do it, it's your business. You can do it whatever way. I'm just saying I don't do it because the time. It doesn't buy me anything in the end. So that's the poll. Now, viewer comments. Got 3 comments here. And the first one here is, I notice in your videos, or from your videos, you store your postcards in sleeves. Yes. Is that not a huge cost to have a number of cards, the number of cards you have in sleeves? So he's saying, isn't that a huge cost because I have so many listings, over 45,000 listings? It can be, but by storing them in sleeves, they're easier to find. They slide a little bit better for me. Plus, the inventory system I use on my system has a little 1" by 1" sticker on there with a number. You don't want to put those on the postcard sticker, because when you peel them off, they might come off the first day real easy because they're removable. But you put them in there for 6 months, you're going to pull color and everything off the card. So I put it on the sleeve, and I reuse the sleeves after they sell. This is what one looks like. When I go to sell it, I put it in a new sleeve to put it in the envelope and send it to the customer. Then I save these. So it's only a one-time cost, and they're not expensive to do. Right now I have, I'm going to show you in a second, a picture where I keep it all, but I have like 30,000 sleeves, 3 cases over there of 100 packs each. I have like 30,000 standard sleeves there, and I keep all my sleeves right behind me on here, and right back here. So when I sell a postcard, I don't have to go around looking for envelopes. I got the envelopes right over here on my little shelf, and I have the backup stock there. In my storage closet, I do have more envelopes, so like that, and I got box cases of sleeves over there. Let's start from the left here. How's this going to show to you? It's going to be on the right. I'll put an arrow on it. Up here is the panoramic envelopes, those longer envelopes, 15-inch, 9-inch, whatever envelopes for the longer postcards. That's where I put those. And those little cubby holes there, those are those era cards, stamp box cards, postcard blanks, little stickers, note cards, stuff like that. I put in that little thing there. And then when you go to the right there, or left, it depends how I'm looking at this, those are the rigid, the semi-rigid and rigid postcard holders. Then some pre-stamped envelopes and some other miscellaneous envelopes I got. Right below that is the cubby hole for standard sleeves. That was totally packed about 3 weeks ago. That's how many I've been selling in the Ko-Fi store, etc. And once that gets down to 1 stack, I'll open another case and fill that back up. And that's where I fill the Ko-Fi orders and stuff from there. Then down below that, the white things are for the 8x11, 14, 11 by whatever, the bigger things, print ads and stuff like that, those envelopes. Then up in the top, there's 3 stacks of sleeves. That's my Continental stack. The middle one is my first day cover for the navel covers, and then the 5x7 sleeves. Now if you notice, I got more Continentals than I do the other ones because I sell more Continentals than I do the other stuff. Then right below that is the EcoSwift envelope. I can put 500, 600 cards in that little spot there, plus with a big stack over on the side here. And then right next to that is an eBay envelope that fits the first day covers. So when I sell one of those, everything's right there. Below there are some bubble mailers and the bigger 8x6 envelopes for eBay I don't use much of. So everything I use to ship postcards is right there. The boxes I use is right in front of me, right up there, all ready to go. All that is right over there. So everything, I can look around at the end of the month and say, yeah, I need some of these, some of those, I order them. So that's how I look at it. Or if I see something going low, I never run out of stock. I always have a little bit more than I need. I don't buy 10,000 envelopes because I'm not going to use those for a whole year. I can get those within 2 weeks. So when I get my envelopes, I have another 1,000 or so in the storage room, and I check that stock. Once I get down to one stack there, I'll bring those out, and then possibly order another 2,000-3,000. Because I do go through them on there, but I don't do that. So that's what I do with sleeves. To me, they're a cost of doing business. It's figured into the cost, and it just keeps the card secure, and it works with my system. So I'm not worried about that cost on there. But thanks. So Cyber Dan says, this came from the video when I talked about how I pack and ship postcards, and I used these EcoSwift 6.5 by 4.5 mailers. If anybody wants to try these, I put a 10 pack in the Ko-Fi store. Here's the link, and you get 10 of these plus shipping. Somebody bought 80 of them from me, but if you just want to try them, that's a 10 pack, and you can. I'll just count out 10 and I'll put them in a box and send them to you. Just buy them in Ko-Fi there. If you're a member, you can get them pretty cheap. So he was talking about me using these, and this is how I took it, Dan. I am a store owner, but not as big as yours. Doesn't eBay give dollars voucher every quarter or two for shipping supplies to store owners? I think he was asking why I use those and stuff. Yeah, I use my coupon. I used to have 2 stores, the toy store and everything. I'd get $100, $150 a month, and I would buy the boxes or whatever. I think the premium store has $50. There's nothing really out there I use right now. I did buy a few other things. I'll buy a few boxes, but these were the best envelopes that go in there. So yeah, but when I buy a box of 100, I'll go through that, and I sell way more than that every month. So there's not enough there to cover what I sell. But I get the odd things. Like right now, I got $50 sitting there, but I don't need anything from eBay. They don't have what I want. And at the moment, I'm in no need of any boxes and stuff. So I'll wait until the end and see if I do have a run on something and I need it. But you're correct. Each store I forgot the levels. I have a video on it. But it gives you it's under Seller Hub. You click store at the top and subscriber discounts. It's eBay shipping supplies, and you can get free there when you sign up for a certain level store. They still charge you taxes, and it'll be a few $2, $3 on stuff, but I use them on there. Thanks, Dan. Then CJ Penny came in after that video and says, has anyone tried the Jewel originators? They seem to be just like the EcoSwift to a point, but they have a tear-off tab for opening the envelope. So I think he's talking something like this. Might be a little smaller, but when I talked to EcoSwift and I started going through envelopes, I contacted different companies and they sent me samples of each one. EcoSwift sent me, I bought one of different sizes because I wanted to see what's out there. And I think her name was Susan or Suzette. We worked on it. She sent me a bunch more to see which one is the best. This was a couple of years ago. And then these other companies, I got some samples and stuff like that, and this was one of them. I've never used it, and I think this is the Jewel what he's talking about. It's got the tear-off tab right up here, so when you seal it with that, then you got a tear-off tab. And I told him, yeah, I have a backup case, because during the lockdown, it was very hard sometimes to get these EcoSwifts, 6.5 by 4.5, so I went out and bought a case of those, the Juvel, I'm not for sure I'm saying right, like this, just in case I couldn't get the other ones or eBay or whatever. That was my backup, and it's still in there. Problem with that is I can put 3 cards in here for 1 ounce for what, 63 cents or whatever, and mail it off. This right up front is a 2 ounce envelope. Then you put the cards in here, you're almost 3 ounces. Yeah, it's a nicer thing, but it's a little bit bigger than this one, if you can see the difference. This is like a 8x6 compared to this one. This one will fit in any slot without bending. This one will sometimes bend it, but it's pretty heavy. So I think there's a weight difference on it. You're going to pay more for this than you do those. Those are about 12 to 14 cents right now, I think, when I last looked. These I couldn't tell you what they are because I don't buy them. But yeah, you can do that, but I think the weight with that. But I would use these for like photos or something like that and send them out. They're stiff enough to do that. But I think that's what CJ you're talking about. And we went back and forth a little bit in the comments. You can see it there. But find something, stick with it. I like these. I enjoy them. They work fine for me. People, the reactions from customers, a lot of people I mail to have sent me messages, where do you get those? And I just tell them where to go get them and stuff like that. Again, if you want to try these, I have a little 10-pack in there. Or order a postcard from somebody that uses them, and you'll see. The 6x4 label that you print out for eBay standard envelope fits perfectly on there as well. And I just put my stamp on the back. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, I did it upside down. But I got a little stamp I put on the back. I don't put a thank you card or anything. I just stamp it. And this says 35,000 listings. That's how long this stamp lasts. And I get those, and I get this stamp from Vistaprint. And there's the large stamp, self-inker, and it just put it in there. And I have my thing up there, so when I need another one, I just go in there and adjust what I want to say and get another one. That's all I got today. Make sure you check out those sports postcards. I got some other sports coming up. I think I got baseball, tennis, special topics coming up on those. Some of them are interesting. So I did like a little sports thing there. I got on a kick. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Here's some fish. Bye.